Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick of the Notorious Fantasy back at today with another fantasy football video. In today's video, I got Week 15 running back start or sit decisions. I go all the way from the Thursday night game all the way until the Monday night game. Now, before I get in the video, I'd like to give you guys a word from my friends and my sponsor over at OverlayDFS.com. OverlayDFS.com is my favorite way to play daily fantasy sports. Now, obviously, on the website, they have NFL, mainly what I cover, but they also have NBA as well, so you can get your fix for both NBA and NFL on OverlayDFS.com. Now, obviously, I'm going to be talking about the NFL here. My favorite game to play is the progressive game mode. Now, they have entries at all price points, $2.5, $22, or $109. Now, the cool thing here is what progressive means. There's that beautiful progressive bonus. If you hit 12-0, you will cash that progressive bonus. And the $22 game, you would cash a progressive bonus of over $10,000. Now, obviously, on Sunday, it is going to be even higher than that. I'm recording this on Tuesday. It is going to be even higher at that time when it comes to hit Sunday. So make sure you check that out. Now, the way that the game works, it is very simple. If you hit the top 10% of players, you win 9 times your buy-in. It is that simple. And the way I'm going to show you how it works, it is so simple. All you got to do is make 12 picks plus 3 alternate picks in case one of your players ends up getting hurt or something happens that causes the matchup to be voided. It is so simple. It is player versus player. Pat Mahomes versus Denver, or do you think Jimmy Garoppolo will do better versus the Atlanta Falcons? It is so simple. To me, that is obviously Pat Mahomes, but there's so many matchups here. Over 30 plus matchups that you could choose from. They are different every single week, and it is so easy to do. Pretty much you're not even really playing against everyone. It's just you versus the cutoff to see if you can hit that top 10% and win 9 times your buy-in. So make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com, link down below in the description. And we are back. Make sure to check out OverlayDFS.com, link down below in the description. Y'all, let's get right into the video. Week 15 running back start or sit decisions. Now, the first game we got here is the Thursday night matchup between the Jets at the Baltimore Ravens. Now, I'm going to be starting up Le'Veon Bell in this game. Obviously, last week he was out of his football game, but he did play in his bowling game and shot his high score in bowling. So big game from Le'Veon Bell, but not for your fantasy team because he put up a big goose egg because he was sick. A big goose egg for you. And you don't know who else is sick? Adam Gase. Sick of Le'Veon Bell's bullshit. And Jet fans are sick of Adam Gase. So there's a lot to be sick there over at the Jets, even if your name is not Mono Man Sam Darnold. Now, Le'Veon Bell, when he's playing, you have to start the man. If you fucking sit him down and he blows up for you, you are going to be so disappointed. He honestly has not. He's just been worse than how you expected for this season, but he hasn't been playing so shit that it would warrant you sitting him in fantasy football this week on Thursday night if he plays. Now, we're also going to be starting up Mark Ingram in this game. I believe that Mark Ingram will be great in this game since Lamar Jackson is banged up. They're going to run, and keep handing the ball off to Mr. Mark Ingram, so I like him in this game. I'm going to be sitting down Bilal Powell, obviously, because I believe Le'Veon Bell will play, and I don't think you can play 2 backs on a not-so-hot Jets offense this week. And I'm going to be sitting down Gus Bus Edwards for the Baltimore Ravens. Now onto the Sunday slate, Bears at Packers. Now, this game is the rematch from the game we saw first game of the year, the Thursday night football matchup between the Bears at the Packers. You guys know how that one went. The fucking Matt Nagy did not hand the ball to David Montgomery. He was looking like a god with the 4 touches he got, and he just didn't get any more in that game. But in this game, I believe David Montgomery could get some solid work, so it would warrant starting him for some people if you're in a deeper league. If you're looking for a safe option, you can go with David Montgomery, but we're in the playoffs. I'm going to try to be a bit more risky, so I'm going to lay him down on the bench, but I know in a lot of situations you're going to have to start David Montgomery, and there are a lot worse guys than that, but I'm definitely all on starting Aaron Jones, running back of the Green Bay Packers. Now, last week, I said that Mr. Matt LaFleur was going to go with an Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams head-to-head, or whatever that's fucking called, double dragon-headed fucking backfield, the dual attack. And you know what Matt LaFleur did? He said, fuck you, I'm going to go with the Aaron Jones attack, and that is what he did. And this week, up against the Chicago Bears, a defense that, while at the beginning of the year we thought you could not really run on this season, they've kind of been prone to getting a bit torched by the running game, and I think that Aaron Jones is going to be able to have a great week this week against the Chicago Bears. Now, I'm also going to be sitting down in this game Tariq Cohen. Tariq Cohen, you just cannot rely on that guy. Some games he's going to have a huge game. Other games he's just going to shit the bed. And in your fantasy football playoffs, are you really going to roll the dice like that? That crazy to try to win your game? I would not. I'm going to be sitting down Jamal Williams in this game. Obviously, like I said, Aaron Jones was getting a workload last week that just had no room for Jamal Williams. So I'm not sure if Jamal Williams will be getting many touches this week against the Chicago Bears. Next game here, we got the Patriots at the Bengals. A bit of Spygate version 2. Now, I know a lot of the Patriots fans are going to be in the comments. Nick, you fucking idiot. The Patriots didn't do anything. You just hate them because you ate them. Hate us because they ate us. You know, Tom Brady has 7 rings. Or however motherfucking many rings he has. He has 6 rings. His next ring is going to go on his dick. He needs a cock ring because he's been fucking the league in the ass for so goddamn long. Nick, you fucking idiot. You need to love fucking Tom Brady. You need to bend the knee. Tom Brady is so good. Yep, you know, that's what you're fucking saying. Okay, and I know there are Patriots fans that aren't like that. And I know, I'm not even sure what the fuck happened there, but there was a bit of spying there by the team, whether it was Bill Belichick sanctioned or not. But I do believe in this game, this is going to be a Patriots train like you've never seen before. James White is going to run all over these guys. Well, not really run, because he's much more of a pass catching back. He gets a lot of that work out of the backfield. And he's been so consistent thus far this season. Aside from one dud game a couple of weeks ago, he's been really balling out for your fantasy team. And this week up against the Cincinnati Bengals run defense that really could not stop me if you put me in the fucking pads. I like James White this week. Now, Joe Mixon, while I think they're going to be down, and while I think they might be fucking sleeping when it comes to the third quarter, I think Joe Mixon is going to be balling out in this game. I just could not sit down Joe Mixon. He's just been on fucking fire the last couple of weeks, so I don't think you're going to put out the flames this week. I think you're still going to play Joe Mixon even up against a tougher New England Patriots defense. I'm going to be sitting down Sony Michel in this game. Now, I know a lot of people are riding Sony Michel. They're thinking he's eventually going to strike the flame. They think he's eventually going to get hot, and he just has not done shit this season, really, for your fantasy football team. So you're really going to rely on Sony Michel to win you a fantasy game? I think not. I'm going to be sitting down Sexy Rexy Burkhead as well. Next game here, we got the Seattle Seahawks at the Carolina Panthers. Now, I'm going to be starting up both backs in this game. Obviously, Chris Carson now with Rashad Penny on the IR after tearing his fucking ACL like his name was Dalvin Cook last year. Rest in peace to Rashad Penny. Obviously, I put him down there in the sit because we'd like to honor a guy that played quite well a few games in a row. Now, Chris Carson obviously now is going to be getting so much work. You don't have to worry. If he fumbles the ball, who the fuck else is going to get the ball? Some other fucking idiot behind him. That's not going to happen. They're just going to keep running with the Chris Carson train. I believe this week in Carolina, Chris Carson is going to run an absolute train on that defense. Now, I'm also going to be starting up Mr. Run CMC, Christian McCaffrey. Now, I know a lot of people in the comments, Nick, you know, Christian McCaffrey really hasn't been doing all that good the last couple of weeks. He's had a few down games. He hasn't scored me 40 fucking points recently, and that's actually kind of pissing me off. You told me he was going to ball out last week, and he wasn't the #1 running back. He was just top 5, you idiot. I know that might be what you're thinking. You might be a bit peeved off, but Christian McCaffrey, no matter what the fuck the matchup is, you're throwing him in your lineup with so much assurance and so much dominance that your opponent is going to cower in fear. I love Christian McCaffrey this week in fantasy football. Next game here, we got the Texans at the Tennessee Titans. If you guys have enjoyed the video thus far, please make sure to go down below and click that subscribe button. I'm going to be starting up in this Texans at Tennessee Titans game, a rivalry game, a in-division game. I'm going to be starting up D-Rock Henry in this game. Derrick Henry is a bit banged up, but his last couple of games have just been 100 yards, touchdowns. He has been skull-fucking these defenses like it was his job. And in this game, Derrick Henry, if I think he's healthy, and you can't afford, or not, maybe he's not even healthy, but he's going to fucking play in this game. They're tied for the division. You cannot sit Derrick Henry, Mr. November, Mr. December, Derrick Henry in this game. I believe Derrick Henry is going to run a fucking train on these guys, and as they like to call him, Mr. Tractorcito, Derrick Henry is going to run quite the game on the Tennessee Titans defense. I'll be sitting down Carlos Hyde and Duke Johnson. Now, I know you might be thinking Duke Johnson's actually been pretty productive the last couple of games. And sure, if you're in a super deep league, go ahead and start Duke Johnson, but I think he's much more of a dice roll, like I always say. You put your fucking dice in your hand, you're like, and you fucking throw it at the wall, and it's either going to be double 6s or double 1s. You're either going to be kind of really happy where he scores like 15, 20 points, or he's going to shit the bed big time for you, and I'm going to have to go to Costco to pick up some big time Huggies for you guys, because I'm going to be having to hand out a lot of them, because he's going to fuck you right in the ass and shit the bed on your team. So I do not love Duke Johnson in this game. I'm going to also be sitting down Carlos Hyde. Now, Carlos Hyde really, really, really has gotten a lot of opportunity to succeed, but he hasn't done shit with it. He's like the Kenyon Drake of the fucking Texans. I do not Kenyon Drake, Kalen Ballage of the Texans, I should say. So I don't really trust Carlos Hyde this week. Next game here, we got the Dolphins at the New York Football Giants in the Meadowlands. Now, we're starting up Saquon Barkley in this game. Now, I know Saquon Barkley has really just been a whole disappointment this whole fucking season. He's shit the bed. He's fucked you in the ass. He's done the dirty to you multiple times in a row. But really, he hasn't been all that bad. There are a lot worse running backs than Saquon Barkley on this year. You better believe up against the Miami Dolphins, I am going to play him. I'm going to believe that him and Eli Manning are going to be able to get it done in this game against the Miami Dolphins. I'm going to be starting up Patrick Laird, but you have to be in a super deep league to be doing this. He does get a lot of touches and a lot of opportunities, but he's really not averaging that many yards per carry. He's not been looking ultra super duper hot fire, but I do think that he gets enough production out of the passing game that Patrick Laird is definitely a safer type of play in a PPR league. Next game here, we got the Eagles at the Washington Redskins. Now, I'm going to be starting up AP in this game, but he's got the next to his name because I'm just not too sure what the fuck Mr. Adrian beat his son is going to do in this game. I just don't really trust him at all. This Eagles run defense is going to lock his ass down. This Eagles run defense is very good. Saquon Barkley did not produce that well. A lot of running backs playing against the Eagles have not been producing all that well because this run defense is pretty strong. Their pass defense looks like you could just fucking poke them and just fucking knock them over. They ain't going to do anything. But Adrian Peterson may be getting locked up in this game. If you're in a super duper deep league, you might want to look Chris Thompson's way, but he's not even included on the screen because I'm not even sure you're going to be crazy enough to do that against the Eagles. Now, I'm also going to be starting up Miles Sanders, but he's got the next to his name because if Jordan Howard plays, Miles Sanders is fucked, okay? He could play. And Boston Scott looked like fucking better than Miles Sanders, so I'm not sure if you can really rely on Miles Sanders, especially after getting hurt in that game on Monday night. Next game here, we got the Broncos at the Chiefs, a matchup between Showtime, Mahomes, and Horsecock, Drew Lock. Now, I'm going to be starting off Phillip Lindsay in this game. I know last week I called for a start for Phillip Lindsay. He played just about okay, but in this game up against the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe he will have a big role in this game. I think that Phillip Lindsay will be getting a lot of use up against this Kansas City Chiefs defense that is prone to getting a bit gashed. You know, they're not the best defense, and while Phillip Lindsay is going to be gashing them straight up the middle, repeatedly fucking them with the run because he's a pass-catching back, him and his afro, catching passes in the backfield, but I still do like him in this game. Now, the Chiefs' backfield gets a bit confusing, okay, guys, because LaShawn McCoy is a start if Damian Williams is out, but is he really a start? Because he's much more of an because he's not really getting too many touches on the team. And Darwin Thompson, if Damian Williams is out, you could start him as well, but he's got the because I'm not too sure he's going to be getting all that many pass-catching opportunities in this game that has the potential to be a fucking blowout in Kansas City, so I'm not sure I could trust Darwin Thompson in this game, but they're both starts because they're on such a high-powered offense. Now, I'm going to be sitting down Royce Freeman. It has really just been the Phillip Lindsay show the last couple of weeks. And it's just so hard to anticipate the one game where Royce Freeman finds his way into the end zone. So I'm not going to feel confident starting up Mr. Royce Freeman this game against the Chiefs. I'm going to be sitting down Damian Williams, whether he's healthy or not. And if he's healthy, it pretty much just means you're sitting every fucking Chiefs running back. Next game here, we got the Buccaneers at the Lions. And I made it quite simple here. You're just sitting everyone. For the Buccaneers, they lost Mike Williams, but Ronald Jones, Peyton Barber, Dare Agabaduge. You can't trust any of those motherfuckers any single week in fantasy football. It could be Ronald Jones this week. It could be Peyton Barber this week. It could be some guy they pick up off the street to run the fucking ball because you never know what it is. Bruce Arians, he may be the quarterback whisperer, but he just whispers some lies, some fake news about the running backs on that team. He tells me Ronald Jones is the starter, and then Peyton Barber scores touchdowns, and then they say Peyton Barber is going to be doing more, and then Ronald Jones is scoring, and then Dare Agabaduge is scoring touchdowns, and then some fucking offensive lineman is scoring touchdowns. So you just cannot trust this Buccaneers run game. And same thing with the Lions here. Bo Scarborough is a bit banged up, but I'm just not going to trust any of these guys up against a very tough Buccaneers run defense. So you're going to be sitting down Ronald Jones, Peyton Barber, Dare Agabaduge for the Buccaneers, and you're going to be sitting down Bo Scarborough, Ty Johnson, and J.D. McKisson-Titties for the Detroit Lions. Next game here, we got the Browns at the Arizona Cardinals. Now I'm going to be starting up Nick Chubb in this game, and I believe he is going to give the Browns a full Chubb, a hard, erect Nick Chubb, a Viagra Nick Chubb. Now I know that did get a bit I don't even know what the word is. It got a bit sexual up in here, but it's okay because Nick Chubb is going to skull fuck the Arizona Cardinals defense. He is going to spread them out like Moses split the Red Sea, and I believe that Nick Chubb is going to be able to run a train on this Arizona Cardinals defense. Now, Kareem Hunt has also been getting work on this team. Now, if you're in a PPR league, obviously, much safer of an option in a PPR type of league. When you're in a standard league, he really doesn't give all that much value because a lot of his value is just coming from getting receptions. He goes out wide. He gets snaps from in the backfield. He just looks great on the team, so he's obviously going to be great this week for your fantasy football team. I'll be starting Kenyon Drake, but he's got the because last week we saw David Johnson score a touchdown, so I think that clouds this backfield even more. So I don't necessarily love Kenyon Drake, but if you're in a tough situation, go ahead and start him, and you're going to be sitting down David Johnson on the week. Before I actually get into the next game, I just want to say something. David Johnson has honestly been the biggest fucking disappointment in fantasy football this season. I know you might be thinking, Saquon Barkley got hurt. He's been the biggest disappointment. Or Le'Veon Bell's been the biggest disappointment. Or some other guy that was drafted in the Kerryon Johnson. He got hurt. He fucked me in the ass. He didn't give me any compensation for that. He screwed me over. All these guys, Odell Beckham, fuck you, Odell, you piece of shit. In reality, to me, it's David fucking Johnson. David Johnson took your money. He was looking great at the beginning, the first couple of games of the season. He was on fucking fire. And then he gets hurt, and then he comes back and shits the bed so many weeks in a row. People were still firing him off into the lineup, but he was putting up a goose egg. So David Johnson has probably been the biggest disappointment to me this year in fantasy football. Next game here, we got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Oakland Raiders. And I'm going to be starting up Leonard Fournette in this game. Obviously, Leonard Fournette is a must-start for me pretty much every single week. Obviously, every single week, actually, until he faces a tough fucking defense. This Raiders defense is eviscerated. Leonard Fournette just gets so many touches on touches on touches on touches, and he just fucking runs with it. He is going to destroy this Oakland Raiders defense. I really like him this week. Now, for the Oakland Raiders, Josh Jacobs, obviously, if he plays, you're going to start him. He took a fucking shot to the shoulder last week, and not a bullet, or like a real fucking shot, like Lance Armstrong style, taking a shot, And I think that Josh Jacobs is going to be able to perform in this game if he plays. But in my humble opinion, I think they let him ride the pine and put in my boy DeAndre George Washington in this game, because George Washington is going to carry you across the fucking sea to beat the goddamn Jaguars' ass. And I believe that DeAndre Washington is going to be a running back that is going to lead so many people off the waiver wire to win their fantasy football championship. So I love DeAndre Washington this week in fantasy football. Next game here, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the LA Superchargers. Now, obviously, if you guys have not subscribed already, please make sure to do that down below. So I'm going to be starting up Dalvin Cook in this game. I know all three of these guys are no fucking brainers. I don't even know if I have to really break this down. Dalvin Cook, obviously, he's playing. You throw him in there. Melvin Gordon, he's playing. You throw him in there. Austin Eckler last week got like 200 fucking yards on like 7 touches. It was unbelievable. Played like a fucking goddamn legend. Start him as well. Start all three of these guys. They are really no-brainers. Next game here, we got the LA Rams at the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I'm going to be starting up Todd Gurley in this game. Todd Gurley, they just took the fucking whatever it's called where they just restrict your touches at the beginning of the season that I told you guys to worry about. They took that off. They let him loose, and he's just been touching the ball like his name is Leonard Fournette. And in this game up against the Dallas Cowboys, I think he runs all over that shit tier fucking defense. And I like Ezekiel Elliott in this game to eat some fantasy points. These guys are also pretty much both no-brainer guys to throw into your lineup. Neither of these guys are facing up against too tough of defenses up against the running back that would deter you from starting them. Obviously, start your studs in the playoffs. Next game here, we got the Atlanta Falcons at the San Francisco 49ers. In this game, I'm going to be starting up Devontae Freeman. Now, obviously, Devontae Freeman, I am not super into Devontae Freeman this fucking season, but he's just been playing so well the last couple of games. I believe he is a must start this week, even up against a tougher San Francisco 49ers defense. We saw last week them get scored on repeatedly by Drew Brees and friends, so I think that Devontae Freeman will be able to get it done up against this 49ers defense. I'm also going to be starting up Raheem Mostert Mostert. Raheem Mostert was just running a fucking train on the Saints defense. He was getting the rock, and he was just running the ball at 1,000 miles an hour like his name was fucking Hussein Bolt, or whatever that guy's name is. He was just looking like a goddamn legend. I believe that Raheem Mostert is going to be able to ball out this week up against a garbage Atlanta Falcons defense. I'm going to be sitting down Tevin Coleman in this game. Fuck you, Tevin Coleman. You haven't done shit the last couple of games. Same thing with Mr. Matt Boweeda. Next game here, we got the Bills at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe this is the Sunday night football game. I'm going to be starting up Devin Singletary in this game. Now, obviously, Devin Singletary has been running pretty hot the last couple of games, actually playing quite well. And even up against a tougher type of Pittsburgh Steelers defense, I still believe that he will be able to easily perform and play quite well in this game. Now, I am a bit iffy on Mr. James Conner in this game. Will he play? Will he make his triumphant return with Juju Smith-Schuster this week? I'm kind of iffy on it. And if he plays, I'm kind of iffy on playing him because the Buffalo Bills run defense is actually quite fucking good. And I am a bit worried about James Conner, but like I said, if he comes back, you may be a bit strapped at running back, and he'd be looking like the best option on your team, and I might play him in some situations. But I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back out there and just fucking gets hurt again and fucks you right in that no-no square. And Benny Snell, obviously, if James Conner is out, you can play him, but obviously you got to temper your expectations because he was so shit last week. I'm going to be sitting down Jalen Samuels because at the end of the day, I don't really trust him if James Conner or Benny Snell are playing, and one of the two are obviously clearly going to play. Next game here, we got the Colts at the Saints, the final Monday Night Football matchup. Now, in this game, I'm going to be starting up Marlon Mack. Now, last week, Marlon Mack played quite well up against a tough Tampa Bay Buccaneers run defense, one of the best run defenses in the league. And this week, he gets the New Orleans Saints, who got gashed by Raheem Mostert last week. So I believe that Marlon Mack could have a huge game this week and a very under-the-radar game this week in fantasy football. Now, Alvin Kamara really hasn't done shit this season. He's kind of been pretty bad, too. One of those guys that a lot of people would think, well, really not bad, but just a guy that you would think of maybe he's a bust because he was getting hurt. And he hasn't been playing all that hot, but in this game up against the Indianapolis Colts, even if they are a tough run defense, he gets a lot of get work in that pass catching game. So I believe he'll have a good enough game to obviously warrant a start. It's very hard to sit a guy with the talent set of Alvin Kamara and that nose ring. Now I'm going to be sitting down Naheem Hines in this game. Obviously with Marlon Mack back, he can't be starting any of those other Colts running backs. And Latavius Murray, it's like every couple of weeks he scores a touchdown, and it's impossible to figure out when that touchdown game is going to be. Kind of like with Royce Freeman on the Denver Broncos. Thank you guys all for watching this video. If at any point you ended up enjoying, please make sure to click that subscribe button down below. I love each and every single one of you guys. Make sure to have a blessed rest of your day. Check out overlaydfs.com. Link down below in the description. Goodbye, my friends.